Welcome back to MVM. Today I am bringing you a sponsored preview of Apidaia from Blue Flame Games. In this game, you are going to be taking on the role of a species of bee trying to survive and fight for territory against other species of bees that are inhabiting the same area. So the game is a competitive asymmetric strategy game where each player is going to have a unique species. In fact, when you're setting up the game, which I have already done here in front of you, everyone is going to be given a unique species card. This game can support up to from 2 to 6 players, so you're going to have enough species for everyone, and every species is going to come with its own unique ability. So this ability is going to kind of direct you in how you play and give you some strategy options during your game. So you're going to place this in front of you, right next to your player mat. Everyone is going to get a different mat that holds their hive, and you're going to see here a number of hexes inside this hive. This is where you can actually place tiles and place your bees. And in fact, you're actually going to start the game with 3 bees already on it. The rest of your bees you're going to have to earn over time as you grow your hive. In addition, everyone is going to start with 5 pollen. Pollen is one of the 2 resources you're going to be gaining and using in this game. Pollen being the one and nectar being the other. And you can gain nectar from flowers over the course of the game. So every player is going to start set up like this. You're going to place the season board in the center of the game, and you'll notice there are 3 seasons, each one consisting of 2 rounds, making this game last 6 rounds. However, if someone does completely fill up their player mat, fill up all those hexes, the game can end early, but generally it's going to run these full 6 rounds. In addition, the season tracker is going to tell you how much nectar and pollen you're going to get each round. In addition, we have the waggle track right here. Now, the waggle track is where you can put your bees to kind of do a little dance, and you're going to be able to gain bonuses if you can actually complete this rondelle with one of your bees. And then next to that, we have the field. The field is where bees are going to be able to go to pollinate flowers and potentially collect some of those flowers and bring them back to your card. Now, you're also going to have a private field that is not on your card that you can actually interact with, and the only way to do that is by completing this waggle circle. So once everybody is done, you're going to set up and start the first round by revealing a bee quest. Every round you're going to have quests to complete, and you're going to see some hexes here where players can go complete these. However, bees that are set on quests never come back. Now, a round is going to follow a very specific structure. The first thing you're going to do every round is gain pollen. You're going to gain pollen for all of the different flowers you have brought back to your player mat. Of course, on the first turn you haven't brought any back yet, but you're still going to get 1 pollen for every bee. There is a maximum of 15 pollen that you can ever store in your hive at once. After that, each player is going to go in turn order, taking 1 action at a time until they decide to pass. Now, most of these actions are going to cost you pollen, but you're going to be able to generate new bees, you're going to be able to gain nectar, and progress the game forward, completing quests and things like that. When you are out of pollen, or you just decide that you don't want to take any more actions, you can pass. Once 1 player passes, that triggers the end of that round, so to speak. Each other player can still act, but they get to take a limited selection of actions. Now, the most basic action you're going to take on your turn is to move your bees, and you're going to pay a pollen for every bee that you move, but you're going to be able to move them around your own player mat hexes, or you're going to be able to move them out to the field and actually flip one of these tiles. And this is going to show you flowers, and you're actually going to see that these flowers link up to the different colors of nectar that you're going to be able to produce. So you'll notice that on these tiles here, you'll see a couple different kinds. Some of these tiles actually have more than 1 flower, which will allow you to gather nectar of different colors. Now, once you're out there exploring the field, you might come across a seasonal challenge. Some of these tiles will just say seasonal challenge on there. If you get one, you'll take that tile and a seasonal challenge card drawn from the deck. And these seasonal challenge cards are going to tell you what you need to do to complete them. If you manage to complete that entire challenge card and your bee survives, then you get to claim that field space. You'll draw a new tile to replace it, and that becomes the tile you'll place your bee on. Now, when you flip one of these over that's not a seasonal tile, or when you complete the seasonal challenge and gain a tile here, you're going to have 2 options immediately. You can either gain the pollen that's on that tile. For example, I could gain the blue and the purple pollen, or I can choose to buy that and bring it into my own hive. If you choose to buy the tile, you have to pay the cost. For example, you have to actually pay the pollen cost of the flower, but you get to take this and bring it over to your own player mat, and you get to place it on one of these tiles. you'll notice some of these tiles have 2 hexes or a smaller hex inside. That is telling you that when you place here, you get an upgrade tile. You can come over here to the upgrade market and you can gain one of these upgrades. This upgrade, for example, immediately gives me 6 nectar. So I can just gather 6 nectar from the pile here and set it in front of me. And then this one's gone for the rest of the game. So they have a variety of different abilities. You're going to want to collect those upgrades. Every time you take an upgrade, you're going to replace it from the stack and a new one is available. And you'll notice here, you're going to use more upgrades and more field tokens depending on the number of players. So every time you take one, you're going to replace it with another face down tile here. Now another place you can move your bees is this waggle track. A bee is always going to start here and it's going to take 1 movement point to continue moving your bee around this circle. If they make it to the end of the rondelle, you're going to gain a bonus. You're going to get one of these tiles randomly face down and you're going to put it in front of you in your private field. Now, this private field is going to sit here and you're actually going to be able to use these tiles for free. It's not going to cost you anything to move your bee over here to your private field. Now, there's a benefit to this, but it does take a while to complete this track. However, if you decide you don't want to finish it, you can always drop your bee out and move somewhere else with no penalty, but you'll have to start back over at the start next time you come here. You can also, like I said, move your bee to one of the quest cards up top. If you're moving your bee to the quest card, you're taking up a slot and you're saying, I think I am going to be able to complete that quest card. So these are going to be finished once somebody has claimed them. At the end of the round, they actually come off to the side of the game. And then at the end of the game, you'll check and see if you've actually completed the quest that you sent your bees out to complete. You don't immediately replace the bee card. It's not going to happen until the beginning of the next round. During your turn, you can take one of your pollen that you've generated and place it on one of your hexes. So I can place it here on this flower. This represents a larva that's being grown there on that hex. Later, if I take one of my bees and move it to that same space, I can grow that larva into a full-grown bee. I discard my pollen cube and I have to pay 3 nectar. You have to pay based on the color that's shown. For example, here, I have to pay purple. If I had had this one that shows all the different colors of flowers, I could pay that 3 with any kind of combination of what's printed there. If you do that, you're going to just gain a new bee token. This is the best way to grow your army. The more bees you have, the more you can expand and dedicate bees to doing certain things. Now, the last action that you can do is harvest. And this is one of those, an action you can only do until someone passes. But harvest is going to let you take nectar for all of your bees. And you're going to come back here to the seasonal board and it's going to tell you how much nectar you're going to gain. And you're going to gain that nectar in the color of the flowers that your bees are occupying. So you're going to look at all the different flowers your bees are on and you're going to gain nectar. That's the best way to get nectar, is through that harvest action. In addition, you might have some different actions you can take based on your bee species card, based on some of the upgrade tiles you can take like that. But those are the main ones, really moving around, buying those tiles, bringing them back, and trying to build engines, because you need nectar to build these flowers, and you're going to use that nectar to grow new bees. But remember, you're still limited by how much pollen you can get. You're going to generate pollen at the beginning of the round, again, based on the round track, because every round we're going to be moving this over. Eventually, we're going to hit fall, which triggers the end of the game. At the end of the game, no matter how it ends, whether it ends from the rounds ending, or if it ends from somebody completely filling out their hive mat, you're going to score points. You're going to get 1 point for every flower printed on a tile in your hive. That could add up to a lot, especially if you get some of those tiles that have more than 1 flower on them. In addition, you're going to get 1 point for every 5 pollen that you have managed to keep toward the end of the game. You're also going to get 1 point for every bee left alive. Now, remember, bees that are sent out on quests are gone. They no longer count. They don't generate pollen for you, and they don't give you victory points at the end of the game. However, after you've added those points together, you're going to look at all those set-aside quest cards, and you're going to see if the players that claimed them actually completed them. If you did, you're going to get all the points from all the different quests that you've completed. You're going to add up all those points together, and that is going to determine who wins the game. So that is Apidaia. Take a look at the Kickstarter page to learn more about this game, because I am using complete prototype components here. I can't tell you if any of this is going to be final or if the game is going to represent this, because anything might change between the time you watch this video and the time the game actually comes out. So take a look at their Kickstarter page, see a final version of all these different components and everything. Come back, like, subscribe, leave some comments. Let me know what you think of this game and what you're looking forward to. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.